Polluted Thoughts Podcast, real talk with real people. I'm your host, Colin Garrett. Before we begin the podcast today, I just want to take a second to talk about our sponsor. Our sponsor for PTP is Flippin' Ships. Flippin' Ships was founded by CEO Jason Reynolds during late quarantine, and Jason is in the business of providing you with entertainment. Whether you're looking for a restored boat in great condition you can take on the lakes, or if you're interested in watching the process go down, Jason's got it all. His TikToks show the process in an entertaining way for all ages, but check out his YouTube videos because they show every detail of the flip. Check him out on TikTok and YouTube for some at-home or on-the-go entertainment. His handle is Flippin' Ships. That's flipping without the G, ships. And be on the lookout for these flip ships soon on Facebook and Instagram. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're here. Polluted Thoughts Podcast. We're here with two very special people to me. To my direct left, Ethan Whipple, and to my far left, Liam Asselin. These are two of the structural parts of a new band out called Further Maritime. Man, I'm excited to talk to you guys about it more because, I mean, I was there with you guys, but you guys didn't really record anything while I was there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I want to hear more about the trip up to New York and the recordings.
Well, I think you could start that off because you got there before I did.
Yeah, so I drove up by myself. I missed having Jeff in the car with me.
Yeah.
Jeff's a good friend. We arrived at the barn, and me and Sean Crowley, who sings in the band, we tried to get the electricity on in the barn.
Yeah, wait, you brought I'm surprised that the fact that you can bring the Mac to so many different places. It was a leaky barn in upstate New York, and you somehow had all the equipment set up when I showed up.
Yeah, it took us like a couple hours, but
it was impressive.
And the power was it was raining out it's upstate New York, so it's like mud, especially in the springtime with the cars and everything. I didn't get to wear that pair of boots all week again after that one.
There actually is no power in the barn either.
No, I know, because when I showed up, I couldn't tell what was going on.
Daisy
I was
chain.
sketched out. It was raining. It was dark. No cell service. Walking with the live through all this muck, and we finally get in there. First, I see Sean, who I don't know, and he's just looking at me. He's not saying anything to me. And then finally, I saw Liam, and he told me how you guys had to go out back and get all this power set up and everything. I want to hear more about when you showed up and I left. Was it wake up and just start fucking pounding out songs?
I know, it was a pain to get everybody over there.
The way it was is we could never find everybody at the same time. Well, not never, but it took a while.
Where's Dawson?
Yeah, or Alex. He kept disappearing, but he'd always make his way back when he had to. But the first day we were kind of just practicing. The second day we were just practicing.
Because it was all new material.
Yeah, everybody
80% of it.
brought a couple songs, so there's a lot of variation in the songwriting, but it all came out very strong. But the first few days we were just jamming, getting warmed up, get the chemistry going between us, and then after that, the last few days we were recording a lot of songs every day.
Well, what was the interval of time between the last time you guys had played and then when you guys showed up at the barn?
Maybe a couple months for all of us.
Yeah, I would say it'd been a while, right?
It was April 10th because we played a show at the barn then.
Yeah, so yeah, that was over a month, almost 2.
Mm-hmm.
A month and a half.
Half of the band lives in New York City.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We miss you, Dobby.
Yeah.
And Dan. A little bit.
Okay, this is crazy talk, but I smell cigarettes and I think about Dobby. The smell of the scent of tobacco being burnt reminds me of Dobby, and I thought to myself how much I missed him when I smelled someone smoking a cigarette the other day. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
The Marlboro Red man.
Marlboro Red incarnate.
Yeah. He also he's the Camel man.
Well, I don't think he smokes Marlboros or Camels right now.
What's he smoking?
He's been hand-rolling American Spirit.
That is the best way to save your money.
We created this beautiful work of art, a beautiful piece of modern art out of his tobacco bag.
I remember when you were scratching off the
just
I wanted a
the
piece of
letters
it
to make it say some stupid shit.
That's great, man. It's confidential. It's the confidential files and they're black. Yeah, classified. Yeah. They're blocking out everything.
Tobacco is tobacco.
No, that's what it said. Yeah, stuff like that. They wanted to frame it on their apartment in New York, actually, because I was just there
Great.
for a bit, and they had it on the floor.
That's all good. You can back your seat up a little bit so you don't in the glass.
And yeah, one of them wanted to put it on the wall, and the other one was like, "Nah, it looks like trash." But
I like that, dude. Anything can be art nowadays.
Mhm.
No, exactly.
I was watching Dave. Have you seen that show? It's a Little Dicky show.
I saw so many ads for it when I was living in
Yeah.
New York, like the buses and the bus stops.
Yeah,
all
I
had.
haven't gotten to that. I just started watching the first couple episodes. Great, it's been fantastic. And there's an episode where he goes into like some art gallery, and like the artist is like standing in front of his piece, and it's a toaster with some flowers in it, and he's like, "This isn't fucking art." That's how I feel. That's how most people can say, like, that's a stereotypical idea. You know
I actually know the origin of this, how this began in art.
how?
So there was an artist, Maurice Duchamp, who was a French modern artist, and he got his start in a career by like putting like a broom against the wall. It's more of an experiment to see how people react. Like, do they know it's art? Like, can they interpret it as that?
Yeah, I think it's like it's an enjoyment with fucking with other people's minds.
Yes, exactly.
And I think that's kind of shitty. At first, I used to think that those things were funny. But then I kind of think about it, and I think that's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Because he's just fucking with people. But then you get the people who just look at it and say that's fucking a broom against the wall.
It's like once you get it, though, you get it. You know, that's like sort of the humor. You know.
You can fool people into thinking it has value.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I guess if you could fool people into millions of dollars, that's cool with me. I mean, whatever,
Yeah.
It is what it is at that point. I'm not the one buying the fucking, that bullshit ass. You hear about the invisible box? The invisible box that somebody
No.
sold? Oh my god, I gotta find it. I gotta show you.
It's like an NFT or
Oh
something.
my god, no.
NFTs
Essentially, it's the
dude.
same shit. You're stealing the person's money either way.
NFTs are another thing, dude. Like,
I have no clue how that is.
Yeah, so anyways, this Maurice Duchamp's guy, like, they had a thing at the Smithsonian, because this was like the 1920s or something, where people could just send their art in, and they'd have like a community gallery of like things that people made like, across the country. And so Duchamp sent in like a urinal signed "Our Mutt," and like there's like a huge thing whether or not they would be displaying it as it's like art, and that was like sort of the cap on his career, what like made him really famous.
That's kind of cool. You know what would have been cooler? If he did some actual art on a urinal, and that could be actually considered art. If he did some graffiti or something
like put
cool.
a sculpture together.
Yeah, no.
what did they
So,
put
okay,
in the
this is-
museum?
I don't remember.
Oh.
That's
We can get to the bottom of it. First, the invisible sculpture just sold for over $18,000. Let's get to the story. Italian artists. Salvatore Garou just sold his invisible sculpture for over 18,000. Reports are, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it right there. It is nothing. It is invincible for sure.
Yoko Ono did something like this too. Like before
Yeah.
she met John Lennon, she was like in a gallery where she was like her act was like more of a performance art, but like she would have like people like cut her clothes off, like in the gallery.
I heard something about this. I actually I read something about how she was a part of some like weird man, that might not have been it. It was something along the lines of like she was putting like people into like a room and like making them like hit somebody or like hurt somebody. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I've seen that.
Yeah, and like, oh, man, I don't understand. I forget I don't even know if it was like an art thing or if it was just an experiment in general. But I forget. I mean,
Probably like the human nature is art, you know, like that sort of
yeah,
thing.
I think that's
Yeah,
exactly what it was.
It was like an experiment to get people to act a certain way.
Yes, that's exactly what I was trying to get to in better use of words. Thank you.
I think it's art because it's about the emotion of it, and, like how the people are feeling in the act.
Or is it like the art of like outing the real human behavior? You know what I mean? Like showing people how primal we are,
Mhm.
almost. You know, like the art of getting that shown.
Yeah, I feel like the way that I think about art in general is like if it's capable of invoking emotion, and I guess like in that situation, they're invoking like the primal emotion response, you know.
I think of it more broadly as not even evoking an emotion, but a reaction.
Well, yeah, I could say any
reaction or
type
thought.
of feeling.
Yeah,
like if
thought
it
in
gives you a
general.
feeling.
Yeah, like it's made for the purpose of being displayed for
Mhm.
that.
Then maybe the flowers in the toaster is art, because it does bring a lot of reactions to my brain. Like,
I
what
think that's
the
a nice
fuck
one,
is
actually.
that?
It's like a juxtaposition of like trash and like the beauty of nature. You know?
I guess.
Like, if you sealed a toaster, it'd be a perfectly functional vase.
Yeah, it's just so. All right, I
It
went.
would.
You know, so Alex is the harmonica player in our band, and he sings some songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, St. James Infirmary.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, hold on. We haven't even said that. You guys have an album coming out, like, today. Like, it comes out, like, today or tomorrow, right? Like, we didn't bring up how, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We probably should have said
this
that
is-
earlier.
Yeah, we probably should. It's, like, now. Like, it's coming out any minute, really, right?
Yeah, so we finished the artwork, and we finished like, all the files and all the things that are associated with the files, like the credits and things, and
Wow.
we posted it online.
And then we realized it said it was going to take, like, 5 business days.
Yeah.
Because we have one cover song on the album. It's called
Mhm.
"Big Stars Fallen Blues" by Tampa Red, and so DistroKid, what I use as a publisher, has to secure like a cover license.
Fucking bug.
Yeah, we saw-
Yeah, I
we
heard
saw
it
him
on the
earlier.
microphone. That was incredible. The noise it made.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But continue. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, so DistroKid is like they have to secure a cover license so we can have the song on the album, like
Yeah.
not have legal fees, which is pretty cool, you know, like the ability to self-produce like that.
That is true.
Officially licensed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah,
That is
we
cool.
use SoundCloud and YouTube.
So I tried to use DistroKid way back in the day, and I tried to drop like a song on there,
Yeah.
and they weren't accepting my photo because it wasn't 1,000 pixels by
Mhm.
1,000 pixels. So like, did you make sure to do that when you were making the thing, or did it just like happen to be worked out?
No, so I looked it up and it said the official in the industry is like 3,000 by 3,000 pixels.
That might have been what it is. Yeah, 3,000 by 3,000.
I
But
thought.
the one on DistroKid I was uploading was too
Mhm.
large, so like I had to scale it down to 2,500 for the file to actually fit. So maybe that's like if you're making a vinyl record at some point, like because it's such a large image, like you don't
Oh,
want
okay, to
distortion.
fit on the like actual.
Yeah, so that would be like the visual, like 3,000 pixels like in real life.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Fuck, what were we saying before we got into the album?
That, before the album?
Yeah. Before I interrupted you rudely.
Oh,
for
yeah,
one
so
minute
Still
in time.
about the album.
I was talking about modern art.
Yeah, and
we were talking
Alex,
about
you brought
modern
up Alex.
Yeah, so Alex, the harmonica player, his roommate Aiden, from Boston, he's the
Oh.
son of
G Love.
Yeah, he's the son
Yes.
of G Love, who's a
Yeah,
relatively famous
yeah.
musician. And like I went into Aiden's house, which was a beautiful old house on Cape Cod, right on the marsh. And he had like just a bunch of trash on his walls. You know, he had like the strangest things displayed. You know, like even I just display some pretty strange things in my house, but Aiden had like empty bags on his wall, and he had like a stepladder with like a Mickey Mouse toy on it. And it was like in the corner.
Yeah, did he describe to you why it was art?
No, I
Or
just
did you just sit there and.
I didn't understand it until I knew about Maurice Duchamp's.
Yeah.
But now, like looking back, like well, it's just he's making a commentary like for his guests.
Shit, man, maybe I'm just behind the curve and I'm just talking like someone who's uncultured. I don't know. Because, like, when people started, like, making Basquiat kind of art.
Stuff
Like,
influenced by him.
Yeah, or no, I'm just talking about him in general.
Oh, okay.
Like, back then, like, they were probably looking at him like, that's not fucking art. It just looks like a bunch of scribbles. So it's
Mhm.
like him just writing all over the place. But then it ends up being a lot different.
You end up building a name doing it, and that's the only reason why. You know,
Very true. Very true.
if you're doing something good, and nobody knows about it. Then it's
Well, I think that, like, some of it is art, and I think that another part of it is just bullshit, trying to make a name for
yeah,
yourself. you
yeah.
know?
If it's like for profit, you know,
They're
it's
almost like the Jake Paul and Logan Pauls of the art community to me. You know,
these
they're
guys are
just-
bastards.
Yes, they're just
I
like
hope
they're
you see
doing
this.
something like the guy with the invisible sculpture. That guy is like the Jake Paul of the art industry. Like, everyone fucking hates that guy. There's no way they don't hate that guy.
I remember Mike Clark complaining about like the blank canvas that sold for like $3 million or something.
Yeah, that kind of shit. That's like, you know, it's just like, I don't know.
You gotta think about the people.
Reputation diminished for like clout and money. you
Think
know?
about the people buying that. They're,
Yeah,
they're
oh
like,
my God.
I haven't spent enough money recently. They're like, $3 million for the canvas.
That auction. Imagine what that started.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're gonna start the bidding here at $50,000.
10 cents.
Yeah,
Yeah, worked its way up.
fucking $10. I'll give you. Rick Harrison's there. Oh
Yeah,
my
he's
God.
like,
I'll give you about $550. I'll give you $550.
the best I can.
Five's
Yeah.
the best I can do.
It's like there's not a big market for these things. I don't know how I'm gonna get this thing out of here. It's not gonna sell fast.
It's on my shelf for 6 months.
Then Chum-Li's going on a house call.
Dude, that guy was
like an arcade game.
He was a
and he's
genius.
Like, Chum-Li? Oh man.
Yeah.
What wasn't he just smart enough to make a bag?
I mean, he was playing this character. You know, he was like.
That's what I'm saying. He's just smart enough to play the role to get the bag.
Like, I didn't know if he was like, if that's like how the man really behaves, or if that was like a character he's
we can
acting.
bring this back to the art thing. I think that is genius compared to somebody who's selling a blank canvas and catching a come up in a name from that is fucking stupid.
Yeah,
So
Chum-Li's
stupid.
acting. Like,
Yes.
That's like.
Yes.
He created a whole character.
Exactly. He created a character and he played it to a T, and I guarantee you he's nothing like that in real life.
I think he went to jail.
He could shit. He had money, man.
Mhm.
You know people with money do coke
Yeah.
and other things with fast cars.
You know, like Debunked says.
Yes, man. I don't know.
Debunked says hookers and blow.
Yeah.
Yes, hookers and blow.
I don't mean to
That's what people with money do, man.
ruin his reputation. The
Yeah.
man's a genius.
Oh man, now everyone's cops showing up.
His FBI agents listening.
Yeah.
We're not even gonna tell you who Devang is.
Russ Cargill, head of the EPA.
Yeah.
Head of the EPA.
Oh.
EPA. Simpsons movie. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know you're more of a fan of the show, Ethan. than me.
Yeah. I think the show.
You're the biggest Simpsons fan I know. I think. And because I don't know many Simpsons fans. Everyone I know likes the Simpsons, but you actually watched the show.
As a kid, I did.
Yeah.
My parents influenced me. It would be like Sunday nights at 8:00.
And everyone in the Whipple family would sit down to watch
in the living
Simpsons.
room.
It's like a mirror.
and Victoria would cook up some cookies or
maybe we'd
taquitos.
have
You know,
something.
like the family sitting on the couch on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I think The Simpsons is like crap now though.
Like the new episodes?
Yeah, the new episodes. In general,
no,
the older stuff is like comedy gold.
Genius.
It was really hilarious.
Genius.
But
Genius.
the newer stuff, you can tell some of the writers have changed and stuff, and I think politically too, they're different about it.
Agenda.
My friend Jeff Mendoza told me that The Simpsons was right-wing propaganda. That Homer Simpson himself was right-wing propaganda.
Oh yeah. You were telling me about that.
It was an interesting theory. It really was. He said Homer provides this bad model of a father figure that people actually end up looking.
He's
at him
accepted. You know.
Yeah, it's
they're well, that's kind of like me, so it's okay, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because Homer's like a shithead. But
it's funny because when I watched that, I thought the complete opposite at a very young age. Like in the Simpsons movie, they're on the boat even on the roof. And the first scene when he hits the nail into his hand, and then Bart laughs. And he's like, "Wow, you little one!" He grabs him by the throat and he starts shaking him around and stuff. I immediately thought in my head at the age of 8 or 9, whenever it came out, I was like, "That's fucked."
But the man's lovable though. You know? People adapted him as their.
I never thought he was a villain as a kid watching The Simpsons.
So he believes that that's propaganda for the right wing people to act that way and have to justify.
It's a Fox show, you know.
They always make fun of being on Fox though on The Simpsons. They trash on Fox.
But they're still the people running it.
Yeah,
ultimately.
So
I don't know that. I guess they kind of are propagated towards certain things. I mean, I'm not going to say right or left. It's just certain things, obviously. But I feel like Family Guy, on the other hand, doesn't give a fuck about anybody or their feelings. And they've gone around and got everybody, you know? That's why the show's on Fox. Is it on ABC?
I'm not sure.
I think it is on Fox.
I think it's on Fox too.
Yeah, just later in the night after.
So that's crazy to think about with the things that go on in that show. That's on TV on a weeknight or a weekend.
But you gotta think most people on the right wing are despise political correctness, you know.
But I think that Family Guy, the reason that they've been able to be so successful, that they just shit on everybody. So it's not like someone can target them and say that they only bang on this or they're only right or left, because they just every episode's either something about gay people or something about Jewish people or something about white people or black people or Asian people. It's they get everybody, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Yeah, I mean Peter's the butt of the whole joke, you know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he is the.
So he gets
the
it
idea
worse.
That he's a stupid fat American from Rhode Island. Man, I started watching that show when I was 6, 7. I got it for Christmas, the first 2 seasons of that show. Man,
I just watched the new Animaniacs. Like, you know, it was like a 90s cartoon.
No, with what's his name?
Yakko.
Berserker. Right?
I don't know Berserker.
I
Like
think that was his
Pinky and the
name.
Brain, like the Warner Brothers.
Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah, it was like two mice.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they were all like bunnies and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, now I know what you're referring to.
Yeah, they made like a remake of it.
No, you
like
did.
this year.
You painted those people, right?
I painted them.
In art class.
Did I?
When
Yeah,
we
I think
had
you
to
did.
pick, when we
I
had to
think you
pick
did.
those 3 cartoon characters, we did a.
Yeah.
You remember we like picked your 3 favorite cartoon characters. You cropped them out, and we did it on Photoshop, and then we took that and then we traced that onto the paper. Well, what did you call it? Transferring? Because it's not
Yeah.
tracing; it's
Yeah.
transferring.
Mhm.
It's
You had to
transferring.
put it like in the copy machine, like click the percentage and things.
Yeah.
What was that for?
Watercolor.
Like, why were we printing out like animated characters?
Wait, were you in watercolor?
Yeah.
Or was it
It
drawing?
was
and painting?
drawing and painting.
Were we all in the same class or not?
Yeah, no, it was, but I don't remember if it was watercolor or drawing and painting.
I was in watercolor.
I wasn't in watercolor.
I was.
Did you take drawing and painting as well?
Yeah, we also did.
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe that's what it was. I didn't remember which one. They all kind of blend in for me. I took all my extra credit classes were all DePerry art classes. So
That was how I started playing guitar. I was like forced into it by a class at school.
really,
My elective, yeah.
that's insane. Now look at you.
Hear
That's
the
incredible.
album, you know, and you can hear what he's
Yeah.
talking about.
I'm gonna put a link in the bio for anyone who's made it this far. There'll be links in the bio and everything, and
The real ones.
yeah, they'll listen to it, man. I
Mhm.
don't think you gotta worry about it.
I'm not worried about it.
You guys should set up like a social media page though. Like, okay, I really like anyone who's came on. Jason didn't have one before, and I recommended he did it, and he started doing it. And like, I think you guys should just like get out there, and you guys don't have to like focus on it all that much, but
We have an
That's-
Instagram page. It's Dan's personal
yeah,
Instagram.
okay.
It's the
so
same
then,
one,
but
but
Dan's running it.
it is called Further Maritime.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So okay.
He's mostly just done like sort of film type things, you know,
Mhm.
just
All right, well then check
short
that
videos.
out. It's on Instagram at it's like Further_Maritime. I think.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll probably like when the album actually does come out, which should be around when this podcast comes out. Like, we'll have a link to like the album on the Instagram page and whatnot.
Yeah. Jeez, man, that art was great too.
You liked
You liked it?
I
There was a
really
lot
did
of
like it.
debate about the art.
Yeah, he was telling me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something hard to decide.
We got all worked up about it. Like, we were on a call until like 3 a.m.
I think that it's great because it's kind of. It reminded me kind of Zeppelin's like first album, where you guys are kind of just all like in the picture versus like a drawn kind of thing, like something that's not you guys.
Yeah.
But it was very unique in a different sense, you know, with the writing. Who did someone handwrite that?
Yeah,
wrote
Dan
for
did.
it.
Yeah.
And then he like reversed the opacity of it.
I like this gold color because like
Yeah,
it really catches the eye. You know, like
Yeah, I liked those flowers on the side too.
that was.
I drew those. Yeah,
I digitized them.
I sort of drew it on accident.
Team effort.
I was hoping for someone to draw a better version.
How'd you guys get the picture of everybody in it? Was it timer?
Oh,
No.
it was terrible experience.
Terrible?
And
Tell me
there's a
about it.
whole story.
I want to hear. Hold on, 1 second. I need to go run over here real quick. But start telling the story.
So, as you know, there is no electricity in the barn, and the only lights in there are string lights running from the extension cord. But since the barn is a theater, you know, and people use it for onstage plays, they have like mirrors like back where the dressing room would be. But since it's like being in the process of being restored, the mirrors were all on the ground.
It's like a 6 foot by 6 foot mirror.
Yeah,
like
huge
giant.
mirrors.
Damn.
It was like in the green room.
So we brought.
Green room was that in the back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like decrepit right now
Yeah,
though.
yeah. That place would be so cool if they redid it.
No,
I know,
they are
that-
fixing it up.
Well, yeah, check out
Yeah,
Lex Arts Sci. That's
Mhm.
the people who run the town of Lexington in New York, and it's
Mhm.
the end goal is for it to be like an artist community with its own sort of economy flowing in and out. You know, people come and serve as a place to retreat and work. So it's up in the beautiful countryside, you know, right in the mountains.
Catskills.
Yeah, the Catskill
Mhm.
Mountains. They were beautiful.
Yeah,
We
It is a
helped.
great place.
We helped put up an A-frame there. So
Yeah,
there's
you
a
can
there's an
rent
Airbnb if you want to rent it there.
They do
Great
camping?
getaway.
So continue.
yeah.
Mirrors.
So we had to bring these mirrors out onto the porch to catch the sunlight from the sky and throw it into the barn off another mirror, where it then shined onto the seats.
Wow.
hmm
I know.
That's crazy. The picture does look like crazy. Like it looks very different lighting. It was like shining in the middle and spreading outside like on you guys. It was great.
Yeah, and then there's the Shadow Man.
The silhouette.
Yeah. What was it a silhouette of?
Just
how'd you guys get
a figure. I can actually pull it up here. And this will be on the screen, I believe.
Yeah, I'll put this photo up.
Post-production.
Yes.
Alright, so see like the Shadow Man standing
Zoom in.
Oh, yes. How'd you guys do that?
So he stood in front of the mirror.
Who?
Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So he was standing in front of the mirror, like casting the shadow, like right above in the center of us.
that's it.
Sort of coincidence that it worked out that way.
That was great.
Yeah, Dan said that the Shadow Man embodies us as like a group mind, being, musical.
Like the
companions.
sound we developed,
like
working together and stuff. That's like the one being.
But he also
Hive
looks
mind.
like Clint Eastwood just bust through the door,
Yeah.
and staring his
He's
hand.
about like.
It is true. I watched something with Clint Eastwood recently. I guess it wasn't that recently. You were there.
I don't remember what it was.
He
But no,
was
it was the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
We didn't
There was
finish
one
it.
other one though.
Was it Dirty Harry or something?
It wasn't. I don't think the other one was a Clint Eastwood one. I think it was just a spaghetti western.
Me and Brendan were watching Escape from Alcatraz, but he had to go home and we haven't finished it since. Which is sad.
I used to think that Escape from Alcatraz was Shawshank Redemption when I was a little kid, and I used to mix that movie up like all the time.
Shawshank Redemption's a pretty good movie.
I'm actually not like that hip to Clint Eastwood. I would like to be more.
I have like a DVD set.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's like they're really sort of cheaply made Western movies. Like it's.
Well, he was like the stud of like that time.
Yeah, but it was like the spaghetti Western. So the Western was like so popular in the United States, and it had been like so done that people thought it was overdone, and like the movies were sort of falling out of style. And so they took like these spaghetti Westerns to Italy and like, made them for very cheap, like over in Europe.
Yeah. So
They had a different feel to them that was more like primal, I guess, and it's pretty nice,
yeah, I mean, no one could tell the difference. I mean, the only way anybody would know by calling it a spaghetti western. Like I guess production level.
Like it comes out professional either way.
Yeah,
That's-
like it looks like they're in fucking desert. It looks like they're in Mexico or like Texas or something.
But
Maybe somewhere in between there.
It's like a whole new style because it's cheaply made,
Yeah.
It's
Safe
sort of,
to innovate.
Well,
yeah,
with like
but it's valuable. Yeah.
with like stress and I don't know, like when you're in like conditions where you don't have everything, you got to get creative. I feel like that's when like the best creativity comes out.
Yeah.
Kind of like
The most individual
like
sounding.
just like the situation that you guys were just talking about with the mirrors. Like you guys didn't have a lighting in the, you don't have like a production lighting crew like lighting up the photo shoot for you guys to do the studio. Like you guys made it happen. Reflected 2 different mirrors with like the sunlight from
Sending the
outside into a
sunbeam.
barn. Yeah, and then had someone stand in front of it to get the silhouette. Like that's crazy.
The same thing has sort of happened with like the engineering of the actual album itself. Like me and Ethan did the engineering,
You guys like aren't in the studio, don't have like a sound engineer or anything, so therefore you guys gotta find different ways to make the shit sound good.
Yeah, we're just using my
Like the way you guys
IPA and everything.
talk about the way that you guys recorded St. James Infirmary.
Yeah, so Alex does the vocal on that number, and it's we run a 70s Shure S505 or something like that, a bullet microphone.
Harmonica microphone.
It's not actually.
Well, that's what we use it for.
Yeah,
normally.
it's not.
Oh,
harmonica.
okay.
Yeah.
So he cups it and he sings it through my guitar amp, which is a Fender Twin Reverb, and it comes out like he's singing through a megaphone or something, so more clean.
It sounds so textured in an old like style fashion. It sounds like it was getting played out of that thing that's in your house. I've never heard it play, but that's what I was picturing it being
Victrola.
sound like.
Yeah.
It sounds like the way like Billie Holiday sounds in like her songs,
like overdriven.
Like it sounds like it was recorded on my phone from a vinyl.
It has all that gain on it.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
because
great.
he was singing through like the twin reverb. That's like a tube amp, so he gets all that nice natural
Yeah.
Just when he
distortion.
cups the microphone,
Yeah.
that really like
I love
drives
it,
it.
man.
It's like all the sound is coming through this one little pinhole instead of the whole.
It's kind of got like that telephony, like
yeah.
staticky, almost like the way the Arctic Monkeys do sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's right.
I love that. It sounded great. And also, if you've made it this far, Liam is the guitar player and Ethan's the bass player on that solo little number in the intro, the new intro song behind Who to Talk
This is a
About.
permanent
It's a
intro song? Permanent intro
Wow.
song.
Until you guys make something else, I can replace it.
It'll probably be like another year till we get another album.
Yeah.
Mm.
Man, I don't know. I have listened. I don't think I really got the experience because you just kind of showed me them at like a different, like you showed me like first St. James.
They hadn't been mastered yet.
Yeah, and you showed me like number 3 and then number 8. I just remember I'm gonna remember track numbers when they're like posted.
Yeah.
Because like I'm used to having CD.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to listen to it from top to bottom as an experience.
Mm-hmm. Do it with a good pair of headphones.
I will. These ones are great.
Mm-hmm.
These ones are pretty good, so I'm excited to do that.
I'm excited to hear what you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to tell you what I have to think about it because, I don't know, you guys have a very versatile kind of sound because you go from the St. James heavier kind of stuff and then like some of the stuff that Dan sang on was more like folky kind of and like
Dan wrote some beautiful songs.
Fucking bluegrass or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know. But it's I don't know, it's all lyrical, but I felt like the ones that Dan wrote was more of like captivating. Like,
very poetic.
It told the story, you know.
Yeah.
It was great. Like it painted a picture.
They're so personal. Like if you know what's going on in his life, like and you hear the words, you're like, wow, so that's how he's really feeling.
Yeah. It was cool. Dan was sitting next to me when we were in the barn, and like he was writing, and he would like say out loud, and like he would ask me for words and stuff, and like I would provide him with like a word. I put like a word in for a bar or two. It was cool.
Yeah, that's a good experience there.
Yeah.
Your inputs.
I like the idea of like exactly. That's what I'm gonna say. You get it when I'm writing with people. I like say the things out loud, and say I'll be working with Chad, and I'll just be like telling him what I'm rapping. And then he will provide me with like another bar, or like Chad will be rapping, I'll be like, say this shit, and then he'll throw in another bar. It's just like a second mind to think about things, different idea, different perspective.
Sort of like the Yoko Ono thing, like the human nature is beautiful type thing. Like the fact that he's doing this or saying this word gives it like legitimacy. You know?
Yeah, like true thought almost. Like
yeah, it's like this. I had this little like saying I can't like a poem almost. Every word is a poem, you know. Like that's all it takes is just putting it into a poem form, and like, anything you say is poetry if you make it so.
Very true. I mean, it doesn't have to have plot. I mean, not a plot, but
like a meaning to it.
Like a metaphor.
Yeah, a metaphor.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just a capture of life. You know, just a
yeah,
string
that's
of words.
interesting. I never really thought about it like that. That's why she ended up with John Lennon.
Yeah.
Two weird thinking motherfuckers. They were very out of this world. I mean, great. I love both of them. I think that they thought very creatively and different, which is just fantastic. In this day and age, no one fucking thinks differently. It seems like everyone's in a box. Yeah. That's gonna be a snippet for sure. That was a lot of time. When we were at the beach in Gloucester, and Jeff was running around with the stick, and he's like, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna put the stick in the box.
Roddy Ricch.
You know, Roddy Ricch is a visionary.
Yeah.
He influenced the album a lot.
Really?
Nah.
I heard a song by Roddy Ricch. I forget the name now. It was actually really good. Like, he was singing very well, like the first line or two. Like, you know those songs that you hear? The rest of it's like, but then they have one or two lines at the beginning, they're like in the chorus, you're like, this song's great.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those kind of songs. I'm not a big fan of Roddy Ricch. I don't like the whole auto-tune music.
There's a lot of new rap that's coming out, and it all kind of has the same like textures to it, you know?
Yeah, I think
that's an aesthetic, I guess. You know,
it is an aesthetic, but like I feel like it's been overdone.
You know, I
like the jazz band.
Okay, I like a certain auto-tune. You know, I think that like a certain auto-tune with a certain beat works well, a certain instrumental. But I think that when it's overdone, then it's just everyone's doing that. You know, like they overdo it almost. I like the people who can go from the auto-tune and then they can switch it up. Like,
it can't be a crutch.
Yeah, like I have this kid coming over on Monday, and his name's OMG It's Fendi. Shout out to OMG It's Fendi. And he can switch it up. He goes from like that auto-tune shit, and it actually sounds really good. Like, he's got great production. This kid, like, quality is he makes like sick ass beats, and he's great at sound like engineering and production. and but then he switches it up to like harder shit, like where he has no auto tune. His voice is deep as fuck, and like I like that versatility. If you're gonna do it, I think you have to have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't just
prove you're able to.
Yeah, exactly, and like it's like a choice to use that auto tune because you think it sounds better versus like almost like you couldn't do it. There's 2 mosquitoes now.
That's sort of how I feel about guitar effects, you know. Like it's like the same thing as auto-tune. Like if you're using it and it's like an aesthetic, you know, but if it's like a crutch, like just because something's like loud and distorted doesn't make it sound good.
It's easier to sound better with a distorted thing, you know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It lacks like the subtlety and the feel as much.
Like, you know, like Django Reinhardt, like the gypsy jazz, like acoustic guitar player.
He only had 2 fingers, right?
True, he didn't.
Yeah.
Play guitar with 2 fingers?
Yeah, he was like a virtuoso.
He lost him in a fire. His other fingers.
He burnt off. His other fingers were burnt off in the fire.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty lucky, you know, just 2 fingers. But...
Which he just had these 2 fingers?
Yeah, he was. He had like a nickname.
Did he have a thumb too?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was like something thunder. 2-fingered lightning.
Gutzler.
Yeah. Yeah, you read my mind.
I ran out of time.
And you like get it on your shoulder.
Dude, I was watching.
It was comforting.
I was watching Master Chef the other day, and there was a guy on Master Chef who he didn't lose his fingers. He was born with a birth defect, and he could fucking cook, man.
Well, I mean, like
no cooking accident.
And he was holding the pan like this.
If you didn't have the fingers from the start, like it's no different. That's just how you would learn to do stuff. You know, there wouldn't be like the lack of it.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't even know, and you wouldn't know the world.
That's just the nature.
He had like Ninja Turtle hands. That's what
on both hands.
Like, yes, it was 2. It was both hands.
Okay.
But like it was like you'd have like it was 1 finger here, and it was like 1 finger. It was like they were spread out. He literally looked like he had Ninja Turtle hands. You see 1999 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
When Jim Henson did that.
Did they get him like reaching for pizza?
Pizza dude's got 30 seconds.
That reminds me of the Mario movie, man. It like scared me. I was frightened by the visual.
He drops the pizza down in the sewer, and it's like you don't have to pay the it's 50 pizza. Yeah, 50% off the pizza, half off the pizza. If the pizza man's late to deliver the pizza is the premise of them ordering the pizza, that they live in the sewer, so the guy can't find it in time, and then they end up getting the pizza half off. And he's like, hey, this is only $10. He's like, you forgot the tip. And he's like, wise man say. He's like, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. Great quote. I thought about that like the other day.
Dude, when I was in New York, every day I was eating 99-cent pizza. Like,
oh my god, man!
Yeah, I went.
Were they the big slices?
Yeah, they were big. Like, well, I didn't do it every day, but like the first few days.
That sounds gas.
No, it was like I wanted to go to this pizza place, and Dawson's like, nah. He's like, that's like $3 a slice. What are you doing? So it was this place, like this little hole in the wall, 2 slices, a Coke, $2.75. So like
nowhere else can you find that. Nowhere else on the planet will you find that.
Dawson and Dan, they're like home in New York City.
Yeah. I'm glad to find that because Dobby was pulling out of our old job. I won't say their name, and you know who you are. And
dude, all 3 of us are veterans.
Yeah. And Dobby was pulling out of the work, and he like looks at me, and he's like, he looked so depressed, man. He looked so sad. He's telling me how he can't, like, you don't think I can do it anymore. Like, I gotta get out of here, man. I gotta do something with the band, like, or I'm not gonna do it. And I told him, like, just do it, man. Like, fuck this job and fuck being here and just go out and do it. And he did it. Like, within, like, the next 4 days, I didn't see him again. He just left. And I'm more than glad that he took my advice.
Gotta take
Even
action.
I miss him so much. I'm so glad he took action.
Dawson's a wonderful guitar player.
Oh my god, he's fantastic.
You know, you say what you said to me the other day, because you described his playing very well.
Yeah, so me and Ethan were the kind of people to like do very well in school, you know, and like Dan and Dawson are both geniuses, but like in their own ways, you know, like school was not for them, but they thrive in their current environment. Like they're doing so well, you know, so like the convention of being good in school is like being able to copy well, you know, and just like copying things, like learning in that way,
like retaining information.
Yeah, so that's sort of how Ethan and I learned our instruments.
Yeah, and we both took lessons too.
Yeah, from that guy, right?
Andy Cummings.
Andy.
And so Dan and Dawson are they're so individual in their playing. You know?
True originals.
Yeah, they play nothing like either of us. Like if they were, well, Dan plays drums, and we can't drum very well, but
It's like they
Feels like no
they
other
learned it
time.
on their own versus like a technical kind of thing.
yeah. So like even they don't sound like many recordings either.
Yeah.
Like they found their own sound.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Like they more so,
They invented and molded like
Yeah.
their own sound.
like
like-
me and Dawson sort of like adapted around each other. Like as we grew as players.
Well, you guys have like the most insane complementary sounds like I've ever heard.
Even I'm amazed listening.
They
to it.
go together so well with his like.
Yeah,
how
we
do I
sort of have like a
describe it?
two guitars like surf, like a contemporary
Mhm.
surf thing going
His
on.
his. That's how I think about it. Actually, that was like not necessarily I was gonna say surfing, but the way his whammy like it's like wavy sounds and
Yeah, he hits
and
that
then-
thing
and then
so
you-
perfect.
and then
man.
you pluck over it kind of with like whatever your thing is. It sounds more sharp almost versus like because he's obviously got more reverb or whatever. On.
He's got like
He's got like a more bassy tone, Mine is.
Yeah.
I designed mine to cut through the sound.
I was gonna say it's
his,
almost
like,
like
provides,
you're
like, a
cutting
nice
through
bed
his
for me.
wave. Like it's almost like
Exactly.
you're cutting through the wave and
Mhm.
riding his sound.
he's twinkling
Yeah.
through there.
Oh man, and I don't want to say it sounds like he's overshadowed because sometimes I can't hear him and like, but it's just because he's such the structural
It's
part
very
of the
ambient.
sound. He's like the main part. You know, like when you're listening to something and like some like the original sound starts to fade out because other sounds are coming in.
Yeah.
But it's like it's so structural you almost start to forget about it, like a daily routine thing. Like you wouldn't even notice like that on the table because it's on the table every day or whatever. You know.
Yeah. Or like,
It's almost like that because he's such like you and like Dobby. Sometimes I lose your sound because it's so structural that I've heard like it's such a profound kind of thing. I don't know. You know what I'm getting at?
I didn't know bass was a thing until I met Ethan. I didn't know like
Really?
I didn't know
Yeah,
what it was.
I didn't either actually. I knew like bass from hip hop, like the boom, 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 like
Yeah, like
kind
a
of
bass
thing.
guitar though.
Yeah, but like a bass guitar, I couldn't differentiate that from a kick drum in like an original song until like you pointed it out to me when we started getting into like I don't know, when you got me hip to all the music that you're hip to.
When I heard the Beatles, like I knew that there were two guitar players, a bass player and a drum player. Like my dad like taught me that when I was a kid. And I was like, well, what's a bass? What does it do? It's like I just didn't understand like the ranges of sound that like make full out like a rock and roll band.
It's crazy, man. Sometimes I forget it's there. Like
That means
when
I'm doing a good job.
That's what I'm saying.
Because like you notice bass if it's really bad or if it's really good. Like if it's doing what it's supposed to do. And I was listening to some old recordings the other day from some jams because I have like all the software now. So I wanted to master some old jams, like a few from when we had that concert in Lexington and then another one.
Did you master any of the Jocko ones?
Yeah, the chicken. I mastered the chicken.
That. I love
Yeah.
that one.
That was fun.
You gotta post the mastered versions on SoundCloud.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah, this morning.
Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, go check that out. What's your SoundCloud?
I'm not even sure.
It's like EB.
Yeah, I think that's it.
EB. Easter.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that
EB.
gets it. That Brandon's gonna help me find it. Is the link in your Instagram bio?
No, it's not, but I should.
No.
I'll put it there.
Yeah, okay.
What was I saying about the? Oh yeah, the
Doing a good
bass.
job.
Like I felt like I was listening to those recordings and they were jams and stuff, and I was very indulgent in the playing because I like to play a lot of notes because we started off playing in a trio, so I had to fill more space. So I felt like on this album though I played for the benefit of the song mostly. I took a couple parts where I played some fills, got to show off the chops a little bit, but for the most part I was playing for the song, for the band,
Did a wonderful job of it too.
Yeah, man. I love hearing you. I think that you need to play more guitar, man. You guys gotta get somehow.
We had a song that was gonna go on that it started off with some like samba acoustic guitar that I recorded, and then it was gonna go into a couple different jazz segments, and I wanted to play some guitar
I
on
think
that
you
one,
guys would be
but it didn't end up happening.
one of the first bands to really get 3 great guitars going at one time.
But we gotta find another sucker to stick on bass.
Sucker.
I
If there's any suckers out there.
I gotta be the
Give us a
sucker.
call.
I gotta get.
I don't want anyone to play bass
No,
because
you
they're
don't
gonna
have to stick with
they're gonna
yourself.
ruin the sound.
You guys gotta do a better version of what's that fucking band that we hate?
Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah. You gotta do a better. Yeah, I'm sorry, Greta Van
Yeah.
Fleet, but and anyone who likes it, I apologize, but I can't stand it.
Just listen to Led Zeppelin.
Yes, just listen to Led Zeppelin. You'll get the original sound. Anyways, you'll do like remember how they had the 3 acoustics at
Yeah,
one
yeah.
time? That'd be cool if you guys did an acoustic thing with like you playing a bass on the acoustic.
We do have a song with
and-
3 guitars.
Oh, you do? Or
Yeah,
what's on?
Weathervane.
Oh, okay.
It's Dan playing
Dan
guitar.
wrote it. Yeah,
Okay.
And then we have some with Alex playing guitar too.
Yeah, I think those only one of them had 3.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
See, the other thing about you guys, like when I was saying versatile, and you guys are versatile in almost a double entente way, because you guys also all play different instruments. You guys can like almost swap around. I mean, minus the bass, really. No one's as strong of a bass player as you.
Whenever Liam plays bass, I get pissed because I'm like, what the hell is he doing? You know, because he plays all the guitar solos,
Yeah.
so he's so melodic about it.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Mhm.
But I think that like, well,
I heard ya.
all you guys can play the guitar. Like
That's
you
true.
can play guitar fantastic. You can play guitar fantastic. Dawson's a fantastic guitar player. Alex is great. Dan is fantastic.
Mhm.
Like you guys are all great. And then like you got like Dan doing like his shit on the piano, and you could just walk over. I watched you walk over and just start playing the other end,
Mhm.
and like you guys just started making some like horror-ish, like really creepy sounds, and it was just like off the top. And it's nothing like it's. I've never seen that before with people. Like when I say this to people, this is how I describe you guys. I've never been able to see like instant like musical like creativity and like genius almost
Well, it's like
on the spot.
music's like we're communicating with each other, you know.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it for so long now that it's just like natural to be
It's
like
as
that.
if you guys already have like the neural link in your head,
Well,
and
that's
you're
why we-
communicating non-verbally.
It's the shadow man on the cover.
Yeah.
The shadow
It is-
knows.
you guys are almost like a hive mind when you guys start playing, where it's like you're sucked into this thing. I guess you call it the shadow monster, and it's like everybody gets like sucked in, and I mean, egos, like everyone's ego gets pushed aside, and you guys just make the music, and it's
Well, that's
fantastic.
definitely not true.
And-
There's a lot of egos.
When we're
but I
playing,
feel like-
when
but
we're playing,
when you're
not as
playing,
much,
I
yeah.
feel like it gets pushed aside. You can see it happen,
Yeah.
like pre-song, you guys are discussing whatever you want to do or whatever, and one person's got one idea, and the other person's got another conflicting idea or whatever. You guys can butt heads about it and like beef about it, but like when you guys start playing, it seems like that just goes away, and it
Mhm.
becomes one instant like I said, hive mind, where you guys just start fucking going at it, and you don't even need to speak to know like when you guys are gonna break down and when you guys are gonna do the bridge or whatever. It's incredible. I mean, I know you guys practice the songs,
Mhm.
but when you guys jam and shit, when you guys
Well, we
when-
talk to each other
when
sometimes
I-
while we're jamming.
yeah, but like I
Start
don't-
singing now.
Yeah, or be like, there's an E up here, like, you know,
Yeah, you
calling
guys
chords
figure it
out.
But when I hear you guys, when I'd go to your house and I'd watch you guys just jam out and like do your recordings and stuff, and I would watch you, I'd say a song, I'd just name something.
He's a freak with this.
and you would just start fucking playing it, and then you would go, what's the bass line on that? And then you get it like after like the first 2 tries, and then you guys would just start fucking jamming. And Alex, who I didn't mention, is also incredible on the drums. I think Alex needs to get on some shit for the drums as well. Dan's great, and I'm not trying to throw any shade towards Dan because I think he's a fantastic drummer, and I also love the way he plays with his eyes fucking rolled in the back of his head. He's throwing his arms around and stuff. It's fantastic.
That's
But
how I know he cares.
I love the way Alex played, man. When I would hear you guys, his breaks were just great. But
Dan had this thing like he has to be able to dance to like play the drums well.
He's got to be
like,
able to swing.
Yeah.
You know, the way I think about it though is like Alex is certainly a fantastic drummer, and like when Dan first moved to New York, we were practicing with him on the drums, and I feel like we got like a heavier sound from that. But like when Dan plays the drums, like normally when I hear the drums, I hear like there's the kick, the snare, the cymbals. When Dan plays the drums, it's just like sound like radiating out from him, like it's all blended together.
He's like a melodic drummer. too.
Yeah. And then he's doing like these crazy patterns with the cymbals, like at the same time.
he's got like a really big jazz background, right?
Well, I think
That's just how it came out, I guess.
I think all of us have a bit of a jazz background, because I remember me and Liam were talking one time about like the sound. We kind of want it to be like the energy of a punk band, but we're playing as intelligent as like jazz musician.
But then it comes out as like a rock kind of thing. Like what was it like?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that idea because I mean, like I was saying earlier with Sublime, they were like an incorporation of ska, which is punk reggae, so it's already a combination of 2 different genres. And they've also got like this like Spanish Southern California thing going for them with the lyrics and like mindset and like overall energy. And then they've got like rap put into it, whether that be like actual flow or lyrics or like when they cut out like NWA parts and shit, you know what I was talking about? And I think that's how you get like a new sound.
Yeah, I think it's good
Collage.
not to. You don't bound yourself by any genre.
I think that you need people who have like, you guys aren't like different backgrounds, but okay, you listen to like almost every kind of music, right? And then you listen to like a lot of folky kind of, and like you got like an old school background. Then you got like Dan's got like, everyone's well rounded with like their playing, you know what I mean? So if you guys came together and you all were like listen to one kind of music, it wouldn't work out the way that it works out the way that you guys are doing it.
And yeah, like I said something about it earlier that everybody contributed like different to this album. So like songs that were written by different people, like the songs that Alex wrote, they turned out with like a completely different sound than I ever would have expected because he likes to mess around with tunings. You get him?
For anyone who keeps watching us do stupid shit, there's one mosquito, or two, I think there might be two.
I think they're flies, bro, they're not mosquitoes.
They're flies, and they just keep flying around, and I apologize for that, but it's fucking, that's so stupid. Anyways.
But like, yeah, I woke up one morning and I was like, dude, I can't wait to record this song in drop C. And like, if you play guitar, like, drop C is like heavy as shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, we're not like a metal band or anything, but because Alex plays, he was playing slide and an open C tuning, I played like in a different tuning than I ever thought I would. And then Dan was doing these drums on it. It sounded like a war song.
Alex has this like, he's sort of developed this character. He's like the most angry like person I've ever seen. You know, and he's like
when he's singing, not in general.
Yeah, he's pretty docile generally.
Yeah.
When he's singing, he's like you look at him and you're like, this is a man who's like truly in pain or something.
Yeah. Well, you were telling me when he was recording the vocals, he was like bent over, stomach pain.
The St. James recording was incredible for a number of reasons.
With like a blanket over him. Because I remember when you showed me it, I was like, I can picture Alex singing this with a blanket over his head, like wrapped around him and like curled up with his shoulders up and like singing. And he was actually doing that bent over in stomach pain, like, on the floor.
Yeah, that's what it looked like at least.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was like the guitar amp was like on a little crate, so it was like, you know, around like.
He was trying to hear himself too, kind of.
So, but this man was like hunched over, like. I went down, and he was like rocking back and forth, and like.
I love that.
He was like so sweaty, and he had like seven different layers of clothes on,
and the rings on his hand probably too.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
I wrote a little poem about it, and it was like the first song was like he crawled out of the swamp. You know,
that's what it felt like. We were in there. We knew we had to record this song. We were kind of a little all over the place. And Alex, like, I started playing the bass, Dan starts hitting the drums, then Alex, like, comes from outside, like, crawls, like, up onto the stage. Not actually, but, like, he kind of makes way up there, and he's, like, hunched down, and then he starts screaming, and that's just... that's how we started. That's the take we used. Like, we were just up there, and he
like, shit, we got one day left.
Alex loves I think Alex loves that too. He's like, I'm gonna walk in here. I'm just gonna fucking do it, man. I'm just gonna like bust out from the fucking swamp. You know, I think that was a perfect way to describe it.
Because we recorded it through that amp too. It sounds like it came out of some like shack.
Dude,
like,
I love it. I love when Alex can get into that mood where he's like, let's just fucking do it. Let's just fucking do it. And he just like, you just watch him do it. You know, it's
he
great,
embraces the character.
He was in a very good mood that day.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I love that. Alex in a good mood is the best person.
And I feel like the St. James embodies his mood, but like the two songs he wrote, like they definitely support it. You know?
I love the I got diamonds on my hands when he says that. I really think of Alex because like he has all the rings and everything. You know, he wants like the diamonds on his hands when the band blows up. So like it really made me think of that. Like that song does really embody him.
It's like a wonderful song. It's I think it goes back to like I don't even know, man, like 1600s, but like it was adapted in the American South, and you know, like 1920s is like the version I first heard of it.
It's a cover, but like
it's a traditional song.
You'd never hear it the way that we did it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying about like the different backgrounds. You guys take either an old rendition, like a rendition of like you just said 1920 song, and you turn it into what you turned it into. You know, it's very crazy how you can pull that off. And I think that's what makes you guys so unique compared to fucking Greta Van Fleet or whatever, you know?
They're the scapegoat.
Because I think nowadays,
they bear the brunt.
I think nowadays that there aren't any rock bands that really come out like that are like unique. They've got like the Arctic Monkeys, who like,
and that's all alternative rock.
Yeah, and that's exactly.
I don't really understand that term.
Yeah, I don't either. It's kind of like the sound of it, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of things get categorized as that when it could be either categorized as a whole new genre or like other things in general.
I agree.
But I just think that there's not many like new age psychedelic-ish rock with incorporated with jazz or like they used to do it. It's like you guys are bringing it back with a new sound. You guys brought back like 70s, late 60s. Like,
it all sounds like very modern, though.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. You got like a modern spin on old rock, which is almost like what rock did to jazz. I feel like jazz and blues, when they take that and they took their own spin on jazz and blues and made it heavier for like what their generation, their modern like day presentation was like. So I think that's what you guys are doing, and I think that's why you guys are special and it's gonna catch on, truthfully, because like. You get fucking Greta Van Fleet doing like Led Zeppelin
we're just out here
songs.
trashing on Greta Van Fleet.
No, but it's just like
Sorry, guys.
it's
Sorry,
like
Greta.
I don't know. You get a lot of good bands nowadays. I'm not saying I'm sure there's a lot of bands I don't even know, but like I know a lot of bands that like are kind of modernish, and it's usually punky or alternative, and then you get like a couple that are like kind of old school but like modern, and like you're like, wow, this is different, and that's when you find a band and you're like, that's different, that's cool. So like that's why I think that you guys are gonna be like one of those bands that gets to play like at different places because you can do different things and things of the sort.
And I think that comes from because everybody's contributing in the band. It's not like there's a few people producing the majority of the work. Like everybody's contributing.
The clash of egos.
But
it's like a wonderful product.
The clash of egos is important though.
Yeah.
Because like.
It's a clash of creativity as well.
Yeah, if like we weren't so passionate about like what we were trying to creatively produce with the piece, like there wouldn't be any argument.
I would say it's not like an ego in a way where you want it for yourself. It's an ego in a way where you're trying to enhance the whole thing as a whole.
Yeah, we all want like to get the best thing out.
Exactly. Like you're not doing it for a personal gain or like a personal investment. It's like I want this to sound better because we as a whole would sound better. I think that this would work to make the whole thing. You know what I mean? It's not like an individual thought.
At the same time, though, it's like we're each of us before it comes out in the room. We each have our own vision in our head of what it is going to sound like.
Yeah, I guess actually, that's what like when somebody tells you something. If someone was here right now, a fourth person, and they described to us a place in our head. Or someone was reading a book and
we'd all have a different image.
Everybody would think of something different. So then I can see
until we all
how
see the same thing.
Well, yeah, until it's shown to us, obviously. But then I think that's the same. It's exactly like what you were talking about, where you guys all think it's gonna sound a certain way when you get in there, and then once you start realizing what it sounds like, that's when you guys can make that like shadow man and come together.
And I think, like you were saying earlier, like how sometimes you've seen us like be sitting at a piano, and then the other one will just come and they just play together, and it's like. You were saying we all play different instruments. Everybody in the band it's not like we have a guitar player, we have a bass player. Everybody's a musician.
That's why.
And I was thinking about this concept for the first time when we were out there recording. I was thinking about like meeting musicians because if you think about it like music-wise, you can literally make anything, you know? So like if we're all well-versed enough, that we can envision our own things and stuff, like that sometimes also leads to the egos clashing. But it's only because of... like the creativity flowing and wanting to achieve those visions.
You guys are so young too. I mean, I'm not trying to say like I'm of a different age. We're all so young, but like. And
Sean's only. It's his birthday yesterday. He's like 18. He just turned 18.
That's crazy. You guys have so much skill.
Still can't buy smokes though.
And crazy in this country, you can get brought into war, but you can't buy a pack of cigarettes, or enter Ocean Gaming at Hampton Beach Casino, an establishment for 30 plus fucking years, and you can't go in anymore. Change it over the weekend from 18 to 21 plus.
Sorry, man, we only got like a couple months left. 21.
It's not. I got more than a couple
we're
months,
young.
Man.
Well, I'm born in April, but it's like less than a year.
I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, my birthday's in a few weeks, and I was like, oh, it's only like a year until I turn 21. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
We're not even 20 though.
I know.
I'm 20.
You're 20.
As soon as I turn 20, then it's only 1 year.
You guys are stinking teenagers.
What do we got? Like what? Not even 2 weeks until a week, pretty much until you're.
It's the 3rd. Like a week and a day.
Today's the 3rd.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Your birthday's 11th, right?
Ethan doesn't know his mom's birthday.
1 year ago today.
It's April 11th.
today, 1 year ago today, me and Ethan arrived in Arizona. I was looking at my Snapchat. We were pulling out. It was like pulling out of Albuquerque with like the sandias behind us, and then the next one was like us in like West Albuquerque with like the canyons and stuff. It was nice out there.
It's hot. Desert sand.
Yeah. We were listening to Gucci out there.
Yeah.
That's great. With the drop top. Oh man, that was fantastic.
Drop top wop.
Dude, I was so pissed at myself today. We were in Phoenix and we were like an 8-hour drive from Los Angeles and we just didn't go.
See, like 8 hours sounds like a long time, but like we already drove like
fucking 40.
Yeah. So
like we already drove 40 hours. We
like,
drove 27 straight hours to Oklahoma. And then we made it to Phoenix. And by the way, hot as fuck. 116, 117 degrees. All, like, every day we were there.
Kept the roof down.
And a city in the desert.
And there's no water anywhere.
You can't
there's
swim in the Tempe
River. 4
River.
Cities all in the desert. Tempe, Glendale, Scottsdale, Phoenix. We're just in the middle of the desert. And then we had an opportunity, an 8-hour drive that we could just go out there and we didn't even have to get an Airbnb. We could have just slept in the car or slept on the beach. I don't even give a fuck, man. We would have been in LA. And we just didn't do it. Now we gotta wait till next summer and we're just gonna drive all the way back again. The whole 48, 49-hour drive that we have to make now. Instead of 8 hours from when we didn't even go to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I know.
we like barely left Phoenix. We barely left the Airbnb when we got there, man. It was too hot to exit.
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, we got around Tempe a bit though, so and Scottsdale.
That mall. I was talking to my aunt about that mall today. She said she went there. Because like I don't know, she's dating some guy in Arizona. He's like flying her out. But we went to that lake that was man-made, deepest like man-made lake, and at least the state. It could have been the country, and it was notoriously known for dead body dumping.
Yeah,
like notoriously. Like I forget what was the number. It was some crazy number.
It was like
hundreds.
Yeah, there was hundreds of bodies in this lake because it looked like it was like 10 feet deep, but it was like 400
so
feet.
We rented. What did we rent? They were like wakeboard.
Yeah. Stand-up paddleboards.
Yeah, paddleboards. That's the word. And because the jet skis were like wicked pricey, I was like, what the fuck? Like I have like $800 to my name. I can't be spending like 100 of it on the jet ski. So we were on the paddleboard and my sunglasses fell off, and they sank, bro. Like them sink. They sunk so quick. It was like I saw them drop in the water. I reached my hand. I watched my hand miss, and I watched them go down the bottom. You ever seen Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
You know, like when they're in the swamp with all the dead people and they're like coming up from the bottom, like floating up, like reaching for them and stuff. That's what I was like seeing. Like, but I could tell it was just like in my head. You know, it wasn't like an actual thing.
But you knew they were.
But gone. I was like picturing that would be what was coming up from like the bottom because there was no end, dude. You couldn't see the bottom of this lake. It was so deep.
Like all the dead bodies in there.
Yes, that's what. And we didn't know this until we got back and we were just laying. By the way. Only body of water in like an 80-mile radius of the fucking city of Phoenix.
That was see the problem was it was COVID. That's why all the pools were closed.
Natural body of water.
Yeah, but it was man-made.
Oh, okay. Lake or pond is what I was referring to. River of any sort. Like it was like at least a 2-hour drive to anywhere where there was water that you could go in due to COVID. There was that nasty ass water park. When we were there, remember that? When we were like
in
night,
the park.
Yeah, at night at the park.
Golf course.
That thing was scaring me, man. I was seeing shit over there, man. They was scaring the shit out of me. It was all dark and dingy, and the water around it was green with like diapers in it.
There was like geese in it.
There was geese and just trash everywhere. And yeah, I heard like Joe Rogan and them talking about how LA like depleted over COVID and how bad it's gone. Have you heard about like the homeless thing that just happened?
No.
They just put in like an act where like they're like borderline eradicating the homeless people of LA.
Yeah, how are they doing that?
They're just getting rid of them. They're telling them they have to like get rid of all their shit. Like you can't stay here. You can't. They've built like huts and like blocks. Like Skid Row is I forget what it's like a 50-block radius of just like homeless shelters everywhere. They built like towns almost. They're like taking it down and stuff. But like I think what happened with COVID was it started happening to every city. You know, like the people who didn't get the stimulus or people who like whatever just got fucked over, or the people who just don't give a fuck and they just have mental health issues or drug issues or whatever. However they ended up there. But I think it's every city, man. I don't want to trash on just Phoenix for being nasty, because I couldn't imagine how nasty like New York was in the midst, or LA was in the midst, you know? So I didn't want people thinking that I fucking hated Phoenix.
No, I saw a lot of crazy dudes in New York on the street.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
Yeah.
That's entertaining.
There was a guy sleeping, but he was sitting up straight, like right next to the door of the apartment.
I don't know if they follow me on the podcast page, but I definitely follow them. It's called The Gutter People of Los Angeles.
I've seen that.
And they mainly post like just junkies all zombied out, and like you see some insane shit you don't think is real. Somebody in the middle of the street yelling like, "We're number one! We're number one!" You know, just shit like that.
He's not wrong.
You don't see. He is. I think that they have that even in Boston. I've seen some crazy shit happen in Boston, just outerworldly. You're like, the fuck? But like, I think that I don't know. I don't have a suggestion to fix the homeless issue.
Yeah.
But
No
I think
easy way about it.
that should be a top priority for the politicians.
Well, the country used to be like easy pickings, you know. Like if you got here in the 1800s, land was like
you're set,
dime a dozen, you know, that sort of thing. And now like it's all been claimed. People are starting to realize that land is like, you know, you can't make more of it, so it's like worth so much money. You know, that people can't like buy it to settle it or anything for really cheap.
Yeah. I don't know. I was seeing like homeless people when I was in Albuquerque, and I was thinking to myself, like, why are you here? You clearly don't have any ties here anymore. Like you're on the street.
You mean like the desert and shit?
Yeah. Why are you in like this 100?
Well, how are they gonna get out?
When we were in Phoenix, like the homeless people there, and I was like, it's 117 degrees here.
Strokes, man.
You could claim enough money in a week being a homeless person probably to get a bus ticket to like.
That's true.
Somewhere, Colorado, Denver, I don't know. Florida, somewhere where it's not like fucking hot as balls, but like doesn't get cold as shit either. I don't know. Fuck, you're out here in the desert, you're killing yourself when you could be like
maybe that's the
on
goal.
the beach. Go to LA. It's an 8-hour bus ride.
No, because now they're getting rid of homeless people.
Well, not anymore. Yeah, I guess not anymore. Fuck. Now you're just fucked. I wonder, like, see, here's the thing though, with like LA and Phoenix and stuff. The homeless people are out in the open. When you're in New York, it's so clustered.
They're
and there's so much
like,
shit. They're hidden in the fucking alleys, and you can't see them. It's like they're camouflaged. Doesn't seem as bad as it really is, you know. So there's some crazy numbers. Like 50 million people, or like something like that, or like 30 million people are fucking homeless in LA. 30 million.
There's no way that's true. LA's smaller than 30 million, like total population.
It might have been 1,000. Excuse me. No, that's a million. No. That was out of order. LA homeless.
Dude, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, go take a piss. 568,000 people are homeless. Oh, that's in the United States. 66,000.
Do the percentage.
Maybe like 1/5.
Of people, no, it's a 10th of the people, pretty much, a little bit more, maybe like a 9th of the people in the United States are homeless in LA, I guess. Are you talking about like homeless people to population of the U.S. in general?
No, my math was just off.
Well, let's just say, okay, it's 568,000, so we'll round that up, say like 600,000 people. Essentially, and then the population of the United States
it'd be like
is 328 million.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess that's not that big of a number when you think about it. That means it's like
it's a lot of people, I'd say.
It's a lot of people, but that's a small percentage.
Oh yeah.
Very small. I
just mean in general, like in the United States.
Oh man, I mean, I'm not trying to underplay it. That's 500,000 people. More than 500,000 people are homeless in the United States. While you're eating your McDonald's or your actual home cooked meal, think about that. It's kind of fucked. 500,000 people are homeless in this country. But when you think about it from a perspective where there's 328 million of us, that means that you are that one out of, what is it, like 600,000 people or whatever? Like, how much is it? I don't know. I can't do the math in my head.
I can't.
Those are huge numbers. But
I'm out of practice.
There's 328 million people in the United States, and 500,000 of them are homeless. So that's like
1/600.
yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to get to the ratio of it.
Less than 1%.
Yeah, so what does that mean? Like 1 in 600 people are homeless.
Probably less than that.
That does sound pretty big. I don't know, man.
No, I meant like less homeless people. Yeah. That's what I meant.
What less like?
I think like it's probably more than 1 in 6. It's probably like 1 in like 1,000. I don't know though. I'm talking out my ass. I have no clue.
That's not a bad ratio.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's a lot of homeless people, man.
Mm-hmm.
With no solution from the government either.
Dude, I think if I was homeless, I would get like $10, get a down payment at Planet Fitness, because then you can use the showers there, and then you could get a job, because you make yourself presentable. That's not really a solution.
Oh, here's the solution. Get a job.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
If you're mentally capable.
No, I'm saying like you get the Planet Fitness thing so you can use the showers and stuff so that you can get jobs and shit.
I get what you're saying. But there's some people that are out there who are trying to get a job. I'm not trying to like neglect that.
Yeah.
Like, you see people who have like signs like I need job. Like they're not asking for money. They want like a job.
That's a way better sign.
I think that's and those are the people that I give like a water to. One time I was with Frank Butler and we just got McDonald's. We pulled out of McDonald's. I got like 2 double cheeseburgers and a drink, and he got a McFlurry and a drink. And there was a homeless dude, and his sign said something similar. He wasn't asking for money. He was just like asking for help. And he gave him his McFlurry, man. Like he just got it. He didn't even take a bite out of it or anything. And but then he afterward, and we went to Boston like that day, and he gave some homeless dude outside of a Dunkin' Donuts like water. And I thought that was genius, man. I'd never give a homeless person change or anything anymore. Like if I see you and I feel bad for you, I usually just give you water. Or
that's smarter.
You know what I mean? Because I remember one time I was told the story. I gave like a homeless guy like $1, and then my friend's dad told me a story about how he gave this guy money to go whatever, and then he watched him go buy drugs after he gave him the money. So then he walked over, took the drugs out of his hand, and walked him to the food store, because he told me he was going to go buy food with it, and walked him to McDonald's and bought him the food. And the guy was pissed at him. The guy was like cursing at him and shit. I just think like that's absurd. I think those people are the people that deserve to be homeless. That was the kind of the point I was trying to get.
Seems like he's ready for his life to end.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those people are the people who aren't going to get the job, aren't going to get the Planet Fitness, that shower, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those people are the people who, in my opinion, deserve to be homeless and sleeping in Boston Common versus the person who just fucking got fucked over and has been trying hard his whole life or whatever it is, you know, or had one bad month and his whole life went to shit.
Yeah, like I don't think like, anyone necessarily like would deserve to be homeless, but like it's you get what you put in.
Yeah, okay, I didn't, but
yeah.
Like you don't think he didn't just he wasn't born homeless. That man was a baby at one point.
No, I'm saying
and he went through the process of making shitty decisions to arrive to where he's got, clearly. Yeah,
like he put himself in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like you reap what you sow.
Exactly.
So, in that situation, but I think I don't know. The crazy thing to me is I think about like I've had times in my like life where like I felt like I don't know. I just didn't feel like doing anything. Like I felt like a creative block, whether that be like music or just ideas in general or like writing, and then like I also felt like just not doing anything. I'd rather just sit in my bed all day and like do nothing. But then you do that for like a couple weeks and life catches up to you fucking quick, man. Whether that be like financially or like anything you need to do or like responsibility, you know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. So like imagine just working for like 10 years and you're 30 something years old and you want to take like just a fucking month, you want to quit your job and try to figure out something else, and then COVID happens and now you're fucked and now you're just homeless and you can't pay your bills or whatever. Like those people, I don't know, they shouldn't be eradicated. I think they should be helped. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've seen. No, my bad.
I know this song by R. Crumb. It's like a cartoonist piece, like a band, and it's called Fine Artiste Blues. Like the first lyric of the song is "Quit my job, spent 2 months in bed. Thought I'd take up fine art painting instead." The song is about how he like gets rich, you know, he gets like with a lot of women because he's like an artist, you know, and he's all that went into it was him like just not wanting to get a job.
I don't know what's worse, being at a job that you fucking hate.
No, exactly. That's the point.
And you can never That's actually a good point. Like, a job that you hate, that you could never get enough money to raise to be able to, like, support yourself for that 2-month period. Versus doing that and then becoming homeless.
Just like slap some paint on the canvas, you know.
You sell the invisible painting.
I watched,
You're set for life, get 17 million.
I watched this video of this guy who was an artist, and he did the thing, he tried doing exactly what I said, pretty much. And he ended up homeless during COVID because he couldn't pay his bill because he was trying to be an artist and didn't have like a job or whatever. And he's a fantastic artist, like paints crazy shit. And he was painting it on like envelopes and like different kind of like trash paper, like things that you could find. And some Instagram influencer found him on the streets and supported him and put all of his paint, like had to talk to this guy, put all of his paintings online.
Oh, dude, I saw this video, and he sold like $50,000.
He sold $50,000 worth of
the opening night.
On his opening night,
yeah,
exactly.
I saw that video.
Then he sold another one for like 20. Like, he had a separate auction for one piece.
They were really
sold
good
for like $26,000. It's really good, and I think that, like, I don't know. Not that you can weed out the people who are creative and have like artistic ability, but like I think that all homeless people need some sort of like help or an awareness, or told to do, like, brought somewhere. You know what I mean? Because like when I was watching these videos, they were eradicating these people from like a beach, but they weren't giving them any sort of.
They were just like shoo.
Yes, seriously, they were like you can't, like, it was like police officers and park rangers were like showing up, and like people were in tents and things, and one woman was there, and she was like, "You're not giving these people any resources. You're not telling them a place to go or what to do. You're just telling them to leave. Like, how is that any sort of governmental like help, or how can they rely on you? You know what I mean?" And he's like, "Who governs this place at this point? Like, they govern themselves almost. It seems like." So it's like, if you're gonna eradicate them, they need to have a place to go, you know, because you're gonna kick them off that beach, and then they're just gonna go walk down to Skid Row and just go over there until you get to Skid Row, and you have to eradicate it.
Government's like a ridiculous thing in general.
Oh man,
a capitalist republic.
A few people controlling.
Well, I did a podcast with Jason, and it hasn't been posted yet, and I think we might have to redo it to talk about flipping ships a little bit like more now that he's got it going and things. Further than he did before, but it just seems like these socialist countries operate so much better than we run in this company with the capitalistic approach. And obviously, I reap capitalism, and so does everybody in a certain way, but it creates a lot of things within the government that is controversial.
I think like the only real problem with the system is that like it's run by people. And people get corrupt, you know?
What do you want to run by, like robots?
No, like there's
actually, like people show up and vote, and then the robot just processes it and acts it. You know, there's nothing.
But then the problem
is true.
The robot was made by a human, though. Still,
yeah.
Like the problem with the capitalist part of society and government and stuff is like the senators and all those people can get like super corrupt.
That's what. Okay, me and Liam had a deep talk on this a couple weeks ago, I believe, where we were talking about how.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah, this was great. I wish it was recorded because it was fantastic. But it's like these people have their own agenda based on their constituents, and then whether they started out for good or bad in the beginning, it doesn't matter anymore because their only intentions are to be the constituents' intentions, the people who funded their campaign. And I think that's fucking just shit, bro. I think that is a part of the capitalistic approach where it's all about money versus like, it seems like in some of these socialistic countries it's more of like a greater good and like a pursuit of happiness for all.
The thing I don't like about capitalism is that like I can go get a job somewhere and there's someone like reaping the benefits of my work because they I get
what you're saying.
They end up in a position. You know?
Well, I think that's a huge thing in the restaurant business where you work for somebody else who is getting paid so much more than you're getting paid.
Just to watch you, right?
Just to literally sit there and tell you what to do. But, I mean, you get some restaurant places where the person who owns it's also, like, the cook or whatever, and he cooks the food a certain way.
That's how it was in my old job, so it's, like, kind of an exception. He's working hard.
That's different. But, like, the people who, I don't know, you own a restaurant and you're just, like, demanding people or whatever. Like, you're the manager, you supervise or whatever it is, and you own the restaurant. You're reaping the benefits of thousands of dollars a night in a busy restaurant. Like tabs over $100 for 20, 30 tables.
And imagine like
And-
worldwide though, like McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
There's like one person sitting at the top of all that.
I mean, I was more thinking about like a direct route where you could see the person reaping the benefits of your work while you're getting paid a lackluster amount.
Yeah.
Versus like a corporation where you don't really see where all like the money amount or where the money's going. You know what I mean? You're
But you
just
just know they're
mindlessly
doing well,
working for it. You know.
Yeah.
But I think that it's insane that I talked about it with Jason. I said, in Europe, when you get a job, automatic, it's governmental, like this is implemented by the government, you automatically get 4 weeks of paid vacation. Automatically.
Yeah, they don't give
No
vacation
matter what
for
job
shit
you
in
get.
America.
It's based on the employer. The employer has so much freedom, it feels like, in this country versus...
That's the idea of socialism. Like the workers taking the power.
Exactly. That's what I think that might be some of the issue. And we have unions, but unions can get shut down and they can get propagated and... Have you seen
Not effective system.
Unions can become corrupt in themselves too.
What's the Irishman? Have you guys seen that?
Who's in it?
It's Martin Scorsese's latest movie. It's with Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci.
I know what it is. I just haven't
Al Pacino.
seen it.
It's all about unions and stuff, and like how corrupt they can get based on political thing. Like it's political being in the union. They have like different chairs and all this other things, and it's even that's corrupt. You know what I mean? Because the
that union's for the benefit of the people. It's supposed to be for the
benefit of the people, but it's corrupted by the people who are supposed to be running it.
It's like in Lunenburg, like the lake committee.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. It's just like, it's crazy.
The Woodlands Board of Trustees.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. It's just I think the capitalistic approach is more of a corrupt thing in a lot of different areas.
It's exploitative, like directly exploitative.
Yes, I think that's a great way to put it.
I think though, like if you're an entrepreneur who has an idea, like in a capitalist society, if you will get people like,
if you can get people to like
what you're telling them. If people do what you tell them to do, and like you pay them a little bit and you take that much, you're not forcing them into it. Like I don't think they're doing anything wrong. I think if they come up with the idea for the business that can produce that revenue, then like they've earned it.
I agree with that, but then I also think that the people should be paid. I'm not saying that people should be paid equally to the person who created the idea and is running the business.
Well, see, this all depends on the person. You know, like
that's what I'm saying though, because then the government leaves it up to the employer who can. I mean, we have like set price, like minimum wage, and you get certain things that you are entitled to, but they also can make up any rules they want. Like you can get no sick time, or you can get you can get certain vacation, non-paid. You know what I mean? Like it's up to them. Like, why would I fucking pay you? You're on vacation. Versus like Sweden, you can go on fucking a month-long trip and you get paid the entire time. So it's like I don't know. Like you said, it's exploitative. It's almost like they want to keep us at this like content level, not too happy. It's like
it could be you up there, right? If you
that's
just
what I'm saying.
execute it.
Exactly. If
so
you're
they have to keep you in there.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to get to. If you're too happy and if
you're content, why are you going to reach for anything more?
Exactly. Like they keep you down, either content or struggling, because you're always reaching for above and you'll never reach it.
It's like a hierarchy of needs type thing where you can't explore new avenues.
And if you were above that and more than that, and you could see like the issues and the solution to the issues or whatever, then they wouldn't have a job, they wouldn't have a place. You know what I mean? If we were like a higher level of thinking and like beyond happy, we had all our sustainable everything, you know what I mean? And there would be no need for a lot of these politicians and what they do. So they're scared of like almost like an uprising due to like enlightenedness. It's just like the Enlightenment.
Yeah,
it literally is just like the Enlightenment.
They realize we don't need them.
Yes, exactly.
They're trying to oust them.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say.
Like, who are they protecting me from? Because that's how government started. Like, they protect the people.
Yeah, exactly. But now they're keeping us.
You give up your freedom for protection.
I described it as like rats in like a cage. You know what I mean? Like, all right, here we go. Here's your little water. Here's your little thing. You get a little bit of this, not too much though. I'm not gonna give you too much, and we're gonna give you a little bit of this, and then we're gonna test you with this and see how this works in society. You know? And it's like I don't know. They throw us a bone and they want to see how we act to it. It's like they're throwing in like different carcass bones into like the dog cage, and they're like, let's see how they like this one. Let's see how they react to this shit. I don't know. I can't do it, man. Sometimes, and I think in a socialist society, you still have free thinking. Those people can still do like something like this, or they can still have an idea. But then the government protects them almost more. You know what I mean? It's not like in the communist thing where they own the idea. Like you don't come up, like you don't own any of your own free thinking, free thought.
Yeah, I think
shared with everybody.
I think proper socialism can't really be achieved. Like even
in the United States or in general?
I think in general.
Well, what about like Sweden and like Norway and these countries that seem to have just overall better like living?
I wouldn't want to go to one of those countries because of the way the taxes are.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
It's like freedom versus security. That's what.
Yeah, but
like you would have complete security in a socialist country, but you wouldn't have the same freedom as you would in a capitalist country.
But freedom is essentially the freedom.
So you're saying taxes is freedom?
Taxes is security.
Yeah. Like
no taxes is freedom.
You're gonna get taxed anywhere, but like they tax you way harder in the socialist countries. I think
I get the point where you're saying taxes is security. That makes sense to me. I got that. But I'm saying like, what freedoms are taken away by paying more taxes? Like being able to do things, freedom, or like creative thought.
Keeping
freedom?
the money that you earn, that you work for.
Yeah,
the freedom.
Okay, yeah, but like in this country, we give up more money for not enough.
I do think security. That they don't use the
versus
they
in that
could
country
use the tax money.
Like it's
better.
almost like we're paying. Obviously, they pay more in taxes, but it's not like
it pays
double the amount of money. It's almost like we pay like 75% of what they pay for 50% of what they get.
I think they pay like a lot more than double than we pay. I don't know off the top of my head though. You'd have to look it up.
Well, I mean, everything's good in moderation. It's like it's a scale. If you go one way, it's got to be balanced out. So then, like in New Hampshire, for instance, they have no sales tax, but their state tax is much higher. That's how they balance out the security part of it, I guess. So I guess I get what you're saying in that sense of socialism. But I just think that those people have lower crime rate, lower like drug overdose rate, lower homeless rate, lower like emissions of like gas and things because they like bike around and stuff in like cities like Amsterdam and things like that.
Yeah, because if you can do things like the easy way but not the safe way, you can make more money.
I think like the government over there takes a lot better care of the people, but I feel like you don't have like the ceiling for like the amount of opportunities you have is different.
I get what you're saying, but I think that people in Sweden and all these other socialist countries are like celebrities and things too. You know
I don't have a problem with those. And
they're millionaires come out of there too. It's not like they're like having their freedoms like is insinuated the word like diminished.
I think it's just not as free as America.
Yeah. Well, I think that we have fake freedoms in a lot of ways.
I think so too.
Where it's told that we're free, but like the American dream, for instance, you know what I mean? Like it's really not realistic in this day and age. Like people who
it's all the land's gone.
Well, I mean, like okay, this is a modern day American dream, right? Someone makes a TikTok, they want to go famous. They instantly think in their head this video is going viral, and then they put it on and it gets 8 views and 2 likes, and you gained 1 follow, and you're sitting there demoralized. And you're just sitting there thinking, like, what the fuck happened?
But there's 2 ways you could go about that. You could see that and be like, damn, I suck, I quit. Or if you actually wanted to do it, you'd be like, well, what could I improve upon?
But why couldn't you do that in a socialistic country?
Because the government, like, just takes too much control. You know, they don't want to be changed. They don't want to be pushed.
You could do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's nothing stopping you. But
then
I feel like
the American dream just the...
I feel like you're less inclined to better yourself.
Yeah, I guess because you have so much security.
The government gives you everything. You don't need to
now
reach
I get
for
what
it.
You're saying. Like you're not pushed down on like a little child into a struggling area versus like you have more security in these countries where you don't feel the need to like break out of that box and go do something like crazy.
I'm thinking about like Arnold right now. He said in Pumping Iron, they're like the wolf on the top of the mountain's not as hungry as the wolf on the bottom of the mountain. And
Interesting.
You see what I'm saying?
I get exactly what you're saying. I think that's fantastic. I think that's actually great. Wow, I never thought about it.
But then Arnold said that was a lie because he was the one on top.
Okay, well, see, this is a thing that it's like. I heard Kevin Hart say like anyone can get, not anyone, but a lot of people get to the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of staying at the top. It's a matter of being good enough that you're consistent at the top.
Consistency is
like
key
anyone,
to achieving success in anything.
You could use that in anything, but like a huge one that I see it in is UFC. You can be a champion for 1 or 2 fights. You can win the belt and then win one defense, and then you lose it again.
But then there are guys who dominate the division.
But then there's guys like Anderson Silva or GSP who just fucking have it for literally a decade at a time. And that's how you get established as a great, being consistent at the top rather than making it to the top. And I think that's a big problem, especially with social media too. Like everyone's destined, they're like, we need to make it to the top. We're gonna make it to the top. But they don't hold themselves at a self standard where they need to stay at the top. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They don't put in the work ethic that replicates staying at the top.
And the thing with those UFC guys that make it there is since it's done by weight class, it's they've fought all the top fighters in the division. Yeah. And it's they're able to adapt.
Yeah, they have a versatility of fighting because they've had to fight so many different fighters along the way. Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying.
Because you can have a first time champion who's only fought he only had he beat 2 or 3 high up guys, and then he got the title shot. There's a lot of guys in the division that are ranked lower that he's never fought, so
True.
They could know the weakness to him.
Well, UFC has no boundaries when it comes to government. You get people from everywhere. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to get off the topic of socialism and stuff. I don't know, you got Khabib coming from Russia. You got fucking Francis Ngannou who traveled 14 months journey out of his country into Spain, then eventually into France. Got dropped off in the desert 7 different times. And he's fighting in the UFC.
He's champion.
Knocked Stipe the fuck out.
Stipe is one of those guys that wasn't
I watched it today. It was on the UFC Pulse on Snapchat story. Mm-hmm. It was the best knockouts. I did. Yeah. It was the best. Was it today or yesterday?
I think it was today, and it had Adesanya knocking out. What was his name? Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I hadn't seen that one yet.
No, Usman.
No, yeah, shit.
Usman knocked out Masvidal.
Yes.
And rang, his head was rocking back and forth. But no, I was watching the Ngannou one, and Stipe Miocic. I don't know if you know Liam. He's regarded as maybe the best heavyweight of all time.
I think he is. Personally,
I think he might be too. He's one of because. That's the kind of thing where no one retained this top level of heavyweight championship.
It's everybody hits so hard.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's got that one punch power that it's very it leans no matter when I started watching UFC, Frank Mir was the champion, and then he lost it to Brock Lesnar, and then Brock Lesnar lost it to Cain Velasquez, and then Cain Velasquez lost it to Verdum, and then Verdum lost it to Overeem.
I think so. I'm not.
And then I think Verdum lost it to Miocic.
You sure?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And then Miocic beat Overeem, and Miocic had it for a little bit, and that's what established him as the best, because he kind of was the only person holding on to it. And it's these people weren't consistent enough because of that one punch power. I guess everyone's just got a head hunting ability. Mm-hmm. So Stipe is known as one of the best, and he already beat Frank. Do you know what Francis Ngannou looks like?
No, I had a friend who looked like Lesnar though.
Oh my god, fucking Francis Ngannou is the scariest looking dude on the planet.
For to escort Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, that's what they call him. That's what they call him.
It's because his punch was the same amount of force of getting hit by a Ford Escort. When they met, in Rocky, Drago punches.
Look, this is what he looks like.
Wow.
He's naturally 270 pounds.
The caveman. In his finest form.
He at 10 years old, he was working in a mining, a sand mine, just mining for sand and shit in Cameroon.
Yeah, Cameroon.
And so, anyways, Stipe Miocic is regarded as the best. They've already fought once. Miocic beat him. Now he came back and fought again. And
Miocic is old now, though.
Yeah. But in the fight, he clipped him hard, and then Stipe hit him bad. Did you know?
Yeah.
When you notice that when he's stumbling,
I was so sad.
He falls back, and then he's falling back. He's defending himself, and he hits Ngannou so hard, and then he thinks that he did something to him, so he steps back in to go throw another punch, and that's when he hit him with the short left and just folded him, and then proceeded to hit him with a hammer fist to the face. Imagine that, 270 fucking pounds of the hardest hitting man on the planet coming down on you with all his body weight and just hits you right in the mouth with his fucking fist and forearm. Some UFC like video game shit right there. And you beat the shit out of him when they're on the ground. It's intense. Anyways, now Francis Ngannou is like regarded as one of like the best heavyweights of all time. We'll have to see what he does with like defending the title.
I think he's a good striker, but he can't wrestle to the same level as other people.
Well, yeah, dude, he's only been fighting for 5 years.
Yeah, I know. If he can develop fuller, like he'll keep it.
5 years and he's the champion, man.
He has like perfect genetics.
6 years ago, he was driving a motorcycle around in Cameroon, being a taxi driver. That guy.
See,
this 6'5", 270-pound man was on a motorcycle with multiple people on the back, driving around Cameroon as a taxi driver.
Would you say he's achieved the American dream?
I guess, but like if UFC was in a different country, then that would be the case.
But what you have to think about, like, if UFC was going to be in a different country, it would be. Think
about how big every sport league is in our country versus any other country. Nothing, like, other than soccer, nothing's as big as our sports. Like any like sports, entertainment, anything.
Maybe it's just perspective though, because we live here, so that's what it seems like.
Yeah, I think that
it does seem like Western media is
like we were
exported
talking about,
though.
Yeah.
It's like part of our economy now.
Yeah. Well, this is where I get back to like the fake freedoms thing. I think that a lot of countries, when they're looking in, they think that like we're like super free because their rights are being like denounced and not like given to them by the government, by their government. You know what I mean? Like someone in like a third world country or whatever, or first world country, would be just kind of like looking at us as if we were glorious, but then we're kind of like
lackluster.
Yeah. I mean, like it seems like you could show up and just work and just like achieve anything you wanted, but then realistically, you get that minimum wage job,
and you're stuck there.
And then you're stuck
unless
there.
You come up with something else.
And you can't. There's no way. You're not provided enough money to make that leap, like we were saying earlier. It's like you're stuck at this job. Like when I'm working, sometimes I love my job. Like I don't mind what I do at all. When I'm working, I'm like looking around and like I could, if I don't do anything with my life's gonna decide it for me, and it's gonna keep me fucking here, doing this shit the rest of my life, and like. It's crazy that they could come over with the dream as if you could progress so much, but there's only so far you can get, it seems like, without like going outside of the box or outside of corporate kind of like business, which is interesting that happens.
Well, I feel like that has to do with like the government requiring you to have like permits to be starting businesses and stuff.
Yeah, well, the government's supposed to be completely separate from business, correct?
No, not really.
Well, I think like in one theory of it.
Yeah, that's like a theory of it.
But that's not the execution.
I thought that was like it's like what?
There was a period of time where they were like destroying monopolies, like in the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, well, you can't have a monopoly.
We'll see, but that's like laws
like
for that.
Trust busting.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking
about.
But
people do have monopolies, though. Like it's illegal to monopolize whatever industry. But look at Apple.
I wouldn't be well, think about Windows though. I wouldn't be surprised like if Amazon though had some government intervention at a point in the future.
Okay, you have competing brands though, right? But you ever seen any movie ever, right? That is like futuristic.
And they don't
There's that one phone company that everyone has, that one phone, whether it be like iPad
or something.
And everyone has like the free phone, or not even the free phone, but like just the same phone in general. And you go on you go anywhere, and I guarantee you have majority iPhone.
It's like feed.
It's almost like a corruption within the people stopping the monopoly from happening, make the monopolies not seem as a monopoly.
Yeah, they just disguise it.
They just disguise it and make it seem like Android is like a competing company, or Google is a competing company with their phones, but they don't make. They're not selling fucking Apple iPhone. You ever seen an Android store?
No.
You ever see a fucking store with a huge Android logo on it with a fat, big-ass white lights and beautiful inside with mad people working on it ready to help you? Nope. That's just Apple. Only Apple. You see fucking no Google. I don't see a Google store. I mean, Google's got its own thing going on. They're fucking fine, but like they're not monopolizing the phone industry, you know?
I feel like the Apple store is sort of like an antiquated thing. It's like a relic of the past, you know? Like you can just buy your phone online. Like it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I mean, I have no reason to really go. The only reason like anyone goes
like,
to the Apple
fix
store
your
anymore is
stuff.
they fix or like get a warranty or whatever it is. You know, you can go there and they can just clean your AirPods up for you. I watched
They're like the nastiest
dude,
AirPods.
nasty shit, bro. Nasty shit. I watched videos after on YouTube. It's like, you ever get into like those weird like YouTube like binges where you just start watching like zit popping or like
I never liked
hair.
those. I had enough hands-on experience.
No, I'm not big with that either. But I heard Bert Kreischer talk about it on a podcast one time, and I remember I immediately started like watching. I got in like a binge of like ingrown hair removal.
Ugh.
It's I don't know.
I hit or miss, you know, for me.
I mean, it's not something I enjoyed watching, but you just watch and you're like, oh, okay, and you see another one. Like, just keep it coming, you know?
Yeah, it's like a satisfying thing. It's like a pool ball like falling in the
Yeah,
bucket.
it's like a girl putting her teeth on your dick when she's sucking it. It's like, I didn't like that, but maybe do it again.
I don't know about that.
Jokes, people, jokes.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
no one gets
yeah.
humor anymore. Come on. You'll see me. Dobby will see me on the Strand when he's bussing dishes and I'm up there telling these fucked up jokes. That'd be funny. But yeah, no, it's just like, I don't know, you get stuck in a little stupid ass binge and
Yeah.
watching, I don't know.
I like the science videos on YouTube.
Dude,
the ones about electricity.
I have a hard time these days watching anything that's not either like informational or like I can gain something from.
Me too.
Like,
Well, like, it's the use of your time, you know?
that's what I'm saying. It's all about time management, and I feel like I'm caught up doing watching some dumbass shit, and I'll just be like, I'll look at the time on the YouTube video, and the time like I started, and be like an hour just went by of me just scrolling on either Instagram or whatever, and like that's when I just put the phone down and gotta go fucking walk away and go do something like productive.
I think that happens to everybody.
Yeah.
No, it does. It does. Jason was telling me. I'm sorry, Jason, if I'm exploiting you, but he told me he has a 2.5 hour screen time
Like, limit.
on TikTok alone.
See, I've never had TikTok, but like YouTube is becoming like TikTok because they added that
They have
stories
the thing.
thing,
They have, like,
and
the Reels
they're
thing
all
almost.
reposts
Yes.
of TikToks. I was
Yes.
watching those today, and
It's
like,
on Instagram
dude,
too. It's the same
I
thing
swear
on Instagram.
the people who came up with TikTok like did some neuroscience shit
Oh, yeah,
to
for
figure
sure.
out how to make like the most like it's firing your brain on
Addicting.
all cylinders. It's a short video, you don't need attention span, and then just like spoon feeds you like so many of them. You can just keep watching them.
That was the Pinky and the Brain plot from like the first episode of the new Animaniacs. Like this show went off air in like 1998, and like in the newest episode it said like Brain was like, Pinky, I know what I have to do to take over the world. The next 20 years is him like designing smartphones.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's like I don't know. My screen time in general is like 2 hours, like overall screen time, like two and a half. I mean, maybe a little bit more now because I've been trying to like market out the Polluted Thoughts podcast like brand as a whole on like social media and like try to like get people in the eyes on it and gain a little bit of a following. But like,
what strategies have you been using?
Follow as many fucking people as you can. Like I did it with Masshole Perspective. They're a podcast of like 3 kids from Leominster, and I hit it, and the microphone got the sound.
Add a hit marker in.
So they have like 4,000. They have like 4,400 followers on Instagram, and they follow like 1,500 people or maybe 2,000 people or something like that. But like I went straight to their page after and just started following all the people that follow them, and then I went to my Instagram and followed people who follow me, and then like based on like what they would relate to, kind of, you know what I mean. I just started following a bunch of people, and I follow like 900 people, and I think I have like 360 followers. So it's like, think about it, I mean, at that ratio, I guess it's like 1/3 of the people who I follow me back. But it's like, the more eyes you can get on it, there's the more of a chance. It's like it's a percent chance that you get a follow. You know what I mean?
You told me something really funny, Ethan. You said like when you first got social media, somebody told you it was like the game was to like, have the most people following you while following the least amount of people.
Yeah, Alex told me that like in 8th grade on Instagram.
That's definitely
you have to get as many followers as possible with following the least people.
With social media, I thought that way. I thought that people were gonna flock to me, right? But think about all the fucking people that have every single social media platform. There's no way they're gonna see you by just posting it. Like, you have to hashtag that shit.
Yeah.
You have to follow as many. Like, I'm talking, like, literally, I've been going through and following everybody who follows anybody that I like, just as a mutual interest to see if they'll follow me back. I paid for a promotion, like $20. It promoted, like, my picture, like, my post on Instagram to, like, an 80-mile radius or something like that, and it was like $5 a day for like 4 days.
That's really interesting.
So like it like will come up, you know, like when you get the promoted things on your Instagram, that's like one of mine will be one. It'll be like things like that. I don't know. I think that, and I made a TikTok and stuff for it just so I could get the people from TikTok's eyes onto the podcast. And I used like a bunch of. It didn't get like a bunch, but I got like 500 views and like almost 600 views. Like, who knows? One of those people could have clicked on the link, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like spreading your brand out to as many people as possible, I guess, is the idea in general.
Yeah.
Just reaching out.
Create awareness.
And a lot of networking. If somebody follows you or like whatever and you like what they're doing, like I guess you guys don't really have control of the Instagram page. Dan does, but like I highly recommend, Dan, that anybody who follows you and like comments or anything, DM them and just talk to them. And like any sort of collaboration could happen out of that. Like, I don't know, like the guy hasn't responded, but the dude who liked my picture that was boys with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, you told me about
his
that.
name was like Gino something. His Instagram is like, where is Gino? He owns a company called like Speedweed or something like that. But like he just liked my post, and like I went to his page. The first picture was him with Joe Rogan. I shit a brick. I was literally taking a shit too when I saw it, and I literally the poop came out of me. Like it slipped out because I was that shocked. And I DM'd him. He never responded. But, like, who knows? He might respond, you know?
Yeah.
And you can't take anything as a defeat on social media. If it doesn't go well, if it doesn't go as planned, doesn't go viral or whatever you thought it was going to, you got to keep trying. You can't just stop. It's like anything. You just got to keep going. Like
Consistency.
It's exactly. It's just consistency is key because, I mean, you don't want to be, like, over-posting or whatever and annoy your following, annoy the people who follow you because then they'll just unfollow you. Like, if you just start posting, like, random shit that, like, doesn't have a content or, like, context.
You have to be consistent with high quality.
Yes, exactly. And an improvement is a big thing that needs to happen, especially with like my last podcast didn't have any of those like cut-ins with like the add-in images or add-in videos from what I was showing people. So like just things like that, you know, like little things, improving things and like whatever. And like I don't know, I just think that like just talking to people in general is whether that be over like social media when they follow you or whatever, or like this is the only way things can get done. Whether that be intellectual or like political, I guess, or like anything that needs to happen in any situation needs to get done by people sitting down or on the phone talking to each other to figure the thing out. Like it's not just gonna get done, you know. I think people need to start realizing other people's perspectives. So even if you don't like the person or don't agree with them, I think you need to reach out to them and
see
talk
it
to them.
like from their angle.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like you need to be like I truthfully I want to have someone on who's like a hardcore right Republican, and I'm probably gonna end up like getting in like a borderline argument with them. But I'm not gonna not see their points.
So you should have Mike.
I'll have Mike on. I'd love to have Mike on. Yeah, because I would love to have Mike on. I'd love to talk to him. But like I'm not gonna get in like a borderline screaming match. But like I will debate your things if I don't agree with them, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to see what you're talking about.
Sometimes you just have to agree to disagree.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's how things get done. Damn, goddamn fucking bugs, man. I'm getting sick of them.
Little aviators.
Yeah. All right. Well, I thought this was fantastic. I think we've done a lot of talking. I'm like sweating over here. I would like to go do something now. The night is young.
Yeah.
So one thing that I'm going to start signing off with for everyone who made it to the very end, which I'd be fucking shocked because like the average YouTube
to anyone out
time,
there,
the average YouTube time is like 12 minutes or something like that. But I just want to tell everybody before I sign off, like believe in yourself. That's going to be the new catchphrase, new little slogan. Real talk with real people, we'll keep that. But I think believe in yourself is a big thing because if you don't believe in yourself, who's gonna? You know, if you're waiting on other people to do something, don't do it because I waited a whole year trying to get a partner to do this podcast, and I couldn't find a single person that like it would end up working with. And no one knows you better than yourself, and no one knows exactly what you want better than you. So there's no reason to be, if you want something, there's no reason to be competing with somebody else when you can do it yourself. Just believe in yourself and do it. So, I wanted to throw that in. Thank you guys. Be on the lookout. Further Maritime is dropping the Further Maritime album within the next, 2 business days? Maybe 1?
Well, maybe around 4, but hopefully.
Probably the same day this video gets released.
All right. We're out.